Hello, everybody. I'm Joe the Jet G, and sorry for the little bit of a hiatus. Nothing really came out for the New York Jets the past couple of days, but today we do have some NFL news. We do have some Jet news. The New York Jets have signed wide receiver Tim Patrick to a deal. So we acquired Tim Patrick now, another wide receiver for this very stacked offense. Um, if you were to tell me that we got Tim Patrick last year, he would probably be the wide receiver two, probably, honestly. But now with the additions of, of course, Omar Cooper, A.D. Mitchell, I think, like a wide receiver four at worst. And if A.D. Mitchell doesn't work out, Tim Patrick's probably the wide receiver three. But I have a lot of high hopes for A.D. Mitchell, honestly. So, what are the Jets getting? Well, they're getting another very good wide receiver that's going to get open and going to find lanes uh, to sneak in wide open. And, it's a good thing the Jets have all these weapons, and now they're adding decent weapons. Usually, these guys on certain years would be like the number one target on other Jet teams, like the 2020 Jets, where Brashad Perriman was the number one guy. Again, not throwing shade at Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick is a very good wide receiver. Brashad Perriman is not, but Tim Patrick would have been the number one wide receiver back in 2020. And I don't think Tim Patrick's a superstar wide receiver, but he is a guy is going to get open and he's going to score whenever given the opportunity. So I really like this signing. It adds more to the offense um, that needs to be added. So, I mean, again, like I said in many videos before, the offense has new life. It has officially. This is probably the most stacked the Jets offense has looked in years. So, I mean, the only question you can ask about this offense is the quarterback with Geno Smith. And if Geno Smith ends up balling out this year, which is a possibility, that's still something that could happen. The Jets offense could be a very decent unit this year. And discount that they might not be, or they're not going to be, or something like that. I mean, we're completely discounting what Geno Smith did couple of years ago. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but still. So there are bones to this. There are bones to this offense that you can basically say, yeah, like this team's going to be able to score points. Are they going to win a lot of those games? That's still the mystery. Speaking of those games, um, we're going to get our schedule tomorrow. So we're going to be finding out who we're going to be playing, when we're going to be playing these teams. I predicted that the Jets are going to play the Tennessee Titans in week one because the NFL schedule makers, they really love these storylines that, a team is going to play another team, for a revenge game or earlier on the season. So if it's Jets Titans, I would not be surprised, honestly. Um, in the slightest. I think every Jet fan and every Jet content creator are kind of bracing for Jets Titans, and if it's not Jets Titans, I'm going to be very very shocked. I saw a leak that the first game is going to be Jets at Miami. I mean, I guess that's a good game to start. I mean, you're playing a team that has a brand new head coach and doesn't really have a lot of good players right now. Um, so I mean, I guess if you want to play a certain team on week one, that would be kind of my pick. I wouldn't, strangely enough, I wouldn't want to play Tennessee because I feel like Tennessee is going to want to impress their new head coach by beating his former team. So I just, there's still a danger factor to Tennessee. in week one. With the Dolphins, I don't think I see any danger factor. But then again, I think the NFL is going to go with the storylines. They're going to go with the what's going to cause people to view more week one instead of going with the more boring picks like last year with the whole Aaron Rodgers revenge game, a couple years ago with the whole Sam Darnold revenge game in week one back in 2021 where the Jets played the Panthers when Sam Darnold was a Panther. So, I mean, there's a track record for this. Um, for the NFL, putting us in revenge games right off the bat. So, again, brace for impact for Jets heading to Nashville week one. But from what I've heard, the Jets don't have a very hard schedule, which is a very good thing. If the Jets want to be competitive this year, um, they have a lot to work with now with this offense. I feel like the defense is still a little bit more of a work in progress, but I feel like there are bones to a good team here. Uh, do I think this team is going to be a playoff contender? No. But I do see promise with this squad now. I do see the vision that Darren Muji is trying to implement with this squad. And look, it's not fully done yet. We gotta wait till next April to see when it's to see when it if it's fully coming to fruition. So yeah, there's that. But there's a lot of promise right now. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see when we're gonna be playing the Pats, the Bills, you know, most of the NFC North, which is a very tricky division to deal with. If anything, those are that's probably the hardest part of our schedule is that we got to play the Vikes, the Packers, the Bears, and the Lions. Those are very, very, very good squads that the Jets are going to have to play. But yeah, I just I think that's sort of like the only kind of rough patch, I would say. Maybe definitely you can make the case for the Bills, and definitely you can make the case for the Patriots being a tough games. But other than that, we do play the Titans, which I did just say that they're kind of dangerous if you play in week one, which is correct. But then again, they're not an incredible team. You do play the Browns, which they're a mess. You play Dolphins, which they don't have a whole lot. And you play the Cardinals. So the Jets, they have a lot of winnable games on this schedule comparable to last year and comparable to the last few years. I think this is kind of the more lighter schedule for the Jets in a very long time. Actually, I mean you do also do play the Raiders as well. That's another thing you also play. You play a rebuilding Raiders squad. That's another thing I almost forgot. So that's Titans, Browns, Titans, Browns, Raiders, um, Dolphins twice, and the Cardinals. So that's 6 games that are winnable for the Jets that I see as winnable. Maybe they shock us and they steal a game, or maybe they shock us in a bad way and they lose one or two of those winnable games that I'm seeing. I mean, those are not guarantees, but those look winnable. Those look like places that you could circle on the calendar and say, hey, the Jets have a chance here. And yeah, honestly, I see 6 winnable games on the schedule, honestly. Um, so yeah, I mean, we'll find out when and where, at what time, at what channel. We're going to be playing all these teams. I'm not predicting us to have a lot of primetime games. Maybe a Thursday night, maybe a Monday night. I don't know. Maybe like 2 primetime games next year because we're not projected to be that good. And the NFL likes to market teams that are supposed to be good. In prime time, remember when we got Aaron Rodgers, we had like a bunch of primetime games. When Denver got Russell Wilson, they had a ton of primetime games. They didn't even deserve it. And we didn't even deserve it back in that day, too, when we got Aaron Rodgers. But still, the NFL likes marketing. They like to project what teams are going to be good, what teams are going to be bad. So they're going to try to push those teams to go into prime time. And the Jets, they're not going to be in the prime time window. They're probably going to be at worst, you know, a Thursday night team. Maybe they'll sneak in a Monday night doubleheader. And yeah, and from what I know, and thank God for this, no international games. Thank the Lord. I am so tired of international games, man. I'm so tired of England games, and you know what? Maybe that I mean that usually counted for a primetime game, for a primetime game, usually, even though it really didn't at the same time. Like no one cared for these out of country games. I mean, there's it's so early in the morning. You're probably gonna miss like a good half of the game by getting up like at you know at 10 o'clock or something like that. It usually starts like at 8 or 9. So it's just you know I'm happy that the Jets for once are gonna be playing all 17 games in the States. That's something I am perfectly fine with. And yeah, honestly, uh yeah, stay out of London. That's all I gotta say. Stay out of London. Stay out of you know Germany. I do want them to play in Ireland one day. I do want them to play in Dublin one day. That's something I would really want because you know my heritage is from Ireland. Um, my heritage is from Ireland, so I would really love to have to watch a Jets game with people that my second cousins who are also related to me down there in Ireland, my far distant relatives in Ireland to watch a Jet game. That would be pretty fun. But one of these days, that's probably the one game I would really want the Jets to be out of the States. But other than that, stay out of England, stay out of Germany, stay out of Brazil, stay in the States. That's what I sort of like. I don't like these international games. So most likely we're gonna get a Thursday night game and maybe a Monday night doubleheader. That's probably what we're gonna be looking at. And then maybe 1 p.m. games to 4 p.m. games. But we'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. I would be shocked if we do get a Sunday night matchup. That would be very shocking, to throw at us, but usually Sunday night matchups are for the elite teams. Those matchups are always going to be good teams. Um, so I don't see the NFL taking that gamble of putting the Jets on Sunday Night Football this year. That would be crazy, but no, I don't see that happening, and I don't think anyone else should see that happen. So, so I don't predict that happening. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the schedule so far, where I think it's going to align. So yeah, uh, to summarize everything, Jets signed Tim Patrick, another good wide receiver that's going to really help this offense. At very worst, he could be a wide receiver 4. At the very best, he could be a wide receiver 3. And schedule predictions are right now predictions. We don't know what to uphold on what time, what day, what specific time that this team is going to be playing every week. You know what? I know it's crazy to say this, but I would really like to have a Thanksgiving matchup. I know the last time we had a Thanksgiving game, it didn't go over that well. Mark Sanchez fumbled on Brandon Moore's butt, but still, we haven't been in that stage for a while. But again, the likelihood of that happening is very low. But honestly, I'll be all for it. If we play like the Lions on Thanksgiving Day, I mean, we go to the Lions this year, so that's a possibility. So, I mean, I'd be all for it. I mean, we haven't had a Thanksgiving game in years. I mean, that would be a pretty fun little thing to look forward to. But then again, if the Jets lose, our Thanksgivings are kind of ruined. So that there's that to implement that. So yeah, uh, yeah, that's that, and we'll see tomorrow what these schedules are going to look like. I'll talk to you then, and go Jets.